I'm trying to cry and I even have to be silent about it.
I am not going to speak for anybody else. I'm going to speak for me. Personally, there's nothing in Canada to miss. When we were growing up, we were cultured that foreign is greener pasture and America, Canada and England are greener pastures and everybody wanting to go. And that is one of the biggest lie that could ever endow on the Caribbean people. Caribbean people rich in love, in help, in kindness, in being your brother's keeper. That is not in first world country. What happened is that they trick us, tell us to go to America to work because of green pasture. And they build up these expensive houses and charge us 250,000 Jamaican dollars, which is 2,000 odd Canadian dollars for rent. And then we have to pay those big rents, and those persons move to the Caribbean, buy houses at the waterfront, and have us maintaining their lifestyle. So they come to the Caribbean, they open up businesses, they buy out the hotels, and all of them are in the Caribbean running wholesales, running hotels, running restaurants, whilst we are the slaves in their country to help them to make their dream come true. Going to Canada was one of the biggest mistakes that I could have ever made. It not only damaged my physical health, but I was very close to getting mental health. I am not talking about anybody else. I am talking about me. The best place to live is Jamaica. Is the Caribbean, is to identify with your people, is to speak the same language. If you want little water, you get little water. You can get piece of breadfruit, you can get 2 tomatoes. If you're sick, you can call your neighbor. There's nobody in Canada to help you. The only thing that Canada have is snow, taxes, and high rent. And silent racism. So no, to answer your question, me forgot to me not answer your question. No, me not miss Canada because there's nothing in Canada to miss. Going to Canada was one of the biggest mistake that I have ever made, and it cost me my health.
My experience in Canada, and I want to give you some of my experience as to what led to me moving back home. So when you move there, you realize that taxes and credit score plays a big role in their society. And if you don't have a good credit score, it can affect you getting an apartment. It can affect you getting a lot of stuff. So when we were apartment hunting, we realized that you had to, one, apply for these apartments, and then you have to put credit scores. And at that point, we had to leave that blank because, we were just moving from the Bahamas, so we didn't have credit scores. Well, the apartment that we finally settled on after going to like 3 or 4 apartment tours, we applied, and the landlord, she was very transparent with us, and she let us know that, hey, I have other people that are applying for this apartment who have better credit scores than you guys, but it's just something about y'all that I love. And with that, she gave us the apartment. Now, when we got into all of the expenses that came along with the apartment, we had to pay, because we didn't have credit score, we had to prove that we can afford this apartment. So we had to pay 4 months of rent in advance on top of the security deposit and the last month's rent. So all of that totaled to like 10K. Then the area that we lived in, we realized that we needed a car. So that was another 7K. And like I said, we was prepared going there, so we had the money on hand. But you start living in the system, you realize once you're going into the grocery stores or whatever store you're going into, that's another set of taxes. Then it's a whole other, a lot of other bills that comes along with living in those countries. So you will have to have money on hand for that. And if you're just moving, obviously, you have to find a job. So once you get into the working system, I realized that The amount of taxes that come out of Canadians' pay is insane. The job that I was working on paid $3,000 a month. By the time as you get your pay, $800 had already come out of the pay, and that's just income tax. That isn't you paying for your insurance and other expenses like gas and stuff that comes along with living. You know what I mean? So a lot of it is it's a very expensive country to live in. Yes, it probably will provide opportunities, but you're gonna have to pay to live there, like a lot of money. And after living there for a while, you realize the culture shock really hits home when you, for months, your family is the only family, if you moved with a family, that you're seeing for months on end. You're not seeing anyone that's your skin color, because it's predominantly more white country, especially depending on where you move. And we lived in the Niagara area. Maybe if we had moved to Toronto, it might have been a different experience, or somewhere else. I don't know, but I only can go off of my experience. And to live in those bigger cities is way more expensive than where we was living, and where we lived was already expensive. And after, when you first move there, it's great, especially if you move in the summertime. It's great, the weather's great, and then the weather change happens, and you get down into October where it starts to snow. And man, when I tell you, that is very taxing on the body and the mental. You will come outside and you're just grateful that the sun is out, because you gone weeks without seeing the sun. Mind you, it's still freezing, but you're seeing the sun. Like it affects you a lot. Winter blues is a serious thing over there, and you can become depressed. And a lot of that played a role in my decision to move back home. Then we started to think, okay, if we're gonna make over here our home, we want to get a home. When we started looking at the cost of homes over there, just a 2-bedroom house in the area that we were looking at was like $500K plus. At that point, you're becoming a slave to mortgage. You'll be paying that mortgage until probably the day you die, like, because it's so expensive depending on your job. And all of that, we compared living there and living in the Bahamas, in which, when we left, our jobs weren't that bad. Our lives in the Bahamas wasn't that bad. So for us, it wasn't a hard decision to say, okay, well, we probably could move back home where we would have a better quality of life. So for some people, it might be different. Your experience, that's why I keep saying I'm only giving it off of my experience and based off of my life. I cannot speak for anyone else. Someone else might be in Canada living the best life compared to what they lived in the Bahamas, in which it works for people like that. But for me, where life wasn't that bad, it wasn't that hard of a decision to say, hey, I'd rather come home and continue my life home, which that worked for me. My daughter, she lived in Canada with us while we were there. She loved it. She wants to go back to college, and I don't mind her going back there, because like I say, for a single person, maybe it's a different experience. Especially someone who's young going off to college, it might be different. But you have even persons who were living over there during our time, and they were in college, and they moved back home too. So, everyone's experience is just different. And all I tell you is, if you're going to move there, save, be prepared for the culture shock. Be prepared to hit speed bumps and know that it's not going to be easy all the time. Even as simple as us getting our driver's license, it was hard. You have to do your research with everything. Think about your life. Think about everything in your life that makes life worth living for you, and do your research on it. You want to get a car, do your research on it. Driver's license, do your research. Apartment hunting, you have to do your research. Even in terms of the area that you live in, might affect the amount of jobs that are available, because the area that we was is a small amount of people, and because of that, the job availability wasn't the moving to Canada and then moving back to the Bahamas. It honestly gave my husband and myself a newfound appreciation for the Bahamas, because you realize that life back home isn't as bad as you think it is. But sometimes you have to move in order to realize that. And for us, we was able to get our scratch our itch and go over there, live for a little while, and then come back home and life home is great for us. Like we were able to move back home, get our home. We're now, we have a kid, another child, and it's not as bad as we thought it would have been. So, like I say, everyone's life is different. Everyone's experiences are different, and you just have to experience certain things for yourself. But I'm just giving it based off of what I experienced.
Yeah, I must say this, man. To all the Jamaicans that's living in Canada right now, how are you guys doing? How are you guys surviving this place? If you don't notice nothing, like your bills the same, the groceries the same, the mortgage is the same, the house price is the same, you love the weather, then this video is not for you. Just scroll past. But for the other Jamaicans, I must say this, man. How are you guys doing? Because this place is very draining, very depressing, very mindful. So every day I wake up, I'm like, I don't think I can do 2 more years in this country. I don't think I can do 2 more years here. Like this place is very draining. And with the immigration, it just make it 20 times worse. 20 times worse. So I'm thinking every day, man, where am I going? When am I going? Is it gone? Is it Jamaica? Tell me in the comment if I'm going crazy, but this place is draining.
Hey, my beautiful people. Yeah, I'm back home. I am home in Jamaica. What an experience. What an experience for me in Canada. I have so many stories. I have so many stories to give. I really and truly like Canada. Differently from the cold, I really like Canada. But coming back to Jamaica, I must say, we as Jamaican who have people living in Canada, we must not take them for granted. We must not take them for granted. They are going through a lot, and a lot is going through them. Because you see, even though it is snowing and I'm driving on the road, and when you're driving on the road, I see people going to work. They are going to work. They have the lunch kit in their hand, and they have them little bag. You just know they are going to work. As much as they're in their clothes and all of that, you can see them going to work. Sometimes when I am on the road and we stop, I know my Jamaican people them, and they're either going to work or they're coming from work. And I'm just looking at them and I said, when you don't know what people have to go through to make life, to make a living, it's best for you to shut up. It's best for you not to say anything. And it's when somebody can leave Jamaica because we're privileged, We Jamaican people, we feel like we're privileged, like people owe us something. And you see, when we get up and go out, as people get up and go to Canada and say they go work, it's work them go. It's not like Jamaica, you got to work and you delay that or work them go. And if they don't go to work, we must appreciate them. I have so many stories, so many stories.
Jamaican men are depressed over here in Canada. Listen, can we talk about how a Jamaican man can get depressed when he comes to Canada? A lot of people had warned me about this before my husband came to Canada, that listen, don't force him, let him come on his own time, because when the Jamaican man them come to Canada, it take a toll on them, and especially if the man was coming from a situation where he was in a corporate job, where he was getting paid a really good salary with benefits and all of that. When he comes to Canada and have to adjust his life to what Canada is, and this is not applicable to all situations. Sometimes some people come and them land in a really good job and it's equivalent to what they had in Jamaica. I'm not talking about those circumstances. I'm talking about, when the man come to Canada and he have to do something completely different from what he used to doing back home in Jamaica. That will take a toll on your man. When me say that will take a toll on a man, that will take a toll on a man. And I know coming to Canada is an opportunity for a lot of people. A lot of other men there and them well on the bus, and them when them come to Canada, them get for do things that they never did before with themselves. Not talking about those people either. But I know for sure that a lot of Jamaican men, when they come here and they have to be working some odd jobs, when they have to be doing some things that, you know, they never did before, when they used to have money a certain way at Jamaica, now them come to Canada, them have to watch every dollar with them spend. It take a toll upon the man. So if you have a Jamaican man who is transitioning into the Canadian, and not to mention the culture, because I feel like that's my husband's biggest pet peeve, it's just, you know, getting used to the Canadian work culture, because the working environment here is so different from Jamaica that it shocks your system. It really does shock your system when you come here, when you're not used to that, when you're used to a more relaxed environment, when you're used to an environment where, you know, you can take 2-hour lunch break. No, you only get 30 minutes. It takes a toll on you. But I really just wanted to say, acknowledge that our men have mental health issues as well. And if you have a Jamaican man or a man from anywhere else that is going through depression, acknowledge that, you know, his feelings are valid and exercise some patience with him. Anyway, bless up on yourself.
So a lot of my friends and family, particular in Jamaica, asking me what is my experience being in Canada, because they want to make the transition. Now, this video is not to discourage anybody from coming to Canada. If you feel like Canada is a place that you want to come and live and, you know, start your family, feel free. Don't let this discourage you. But I want to share the realities of Canada. I've been here for the last almost 6 years, and Canada has been, it's different from after COVID. Canada has changed significantly in a number of areas, and I'll speak to some of the areas that I think Canada changed a lot in. When it comes down to taxes, Canada, I think, have one of the highest taxes in the world. So the more money you earn, the more tax you pay in Canada. It's like the higher you climb is the higher the government take money out of your pay. So you're paying, as I'm up to 47% of your income in Canada that goes to tax. So it's very, 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 very tax heavy in Canada. The other thing that I noticed in Canada is that after COVID, the price of food went right through the doors. Like literally, you can go to supermarket with 100 Canadian dollar and you come out back with absolutely nothing. Just two, probably, if you get 2 bags with $100, you get a lot. Food over the last 2 years, particularly 3 years, skyrocket high. The cost of living versus what you're getting for your pay, what you're getting for to buy for food, absolutely ridiculous. The other thing is rent. Now, Canada have this. So before COVID, you could get a 2-bedroom for like 1,100 Canadian dollars, $1,200. Now, after COVID, the same apartment, the apartment that I live on, I got my apartment before COVID, so I got in a very comfortable rate for a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, I have some friends who moved from Jamaica, and there are some vacancies on this apartment, and they live here, and they're paying $1,800 for the same 2-bedroom. And when they move, the landlord charging $2,200 for the same 2-bedroom. So rent in Canada, it's very, very, very expensive. When you talk about the healthcare, no, Canada have free healthcare because they use the taxes that we pay to provide free healthcare. But when you go to the hospital, it's like it's no different from underdeveloped country where you're waiting hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, like literally waiting for 8 hours. You go to the hospital from 7 a.m. in the morning, you're not getting through, and I kid you not, you're not getting through until around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. That's when you actually get to see a doctor, because there is a shortage in the healthcare workers. There is no doctor, and you can't go to a private doctor. You can't say, all right, you have your money, so you're going to go to a private doctor. Canada not deal with private doctor. The rich, the poor, everybody goes to one hospital. Furthermore, you can't even get a family doctor. There's a 6 months waiting list to even get a family doctor here in Canada. The other challenge with the reality of Canada is, honestly, Canada boring. Canada boring. There is nothing to do. It's good when you have like your own community, that you can have that level of um, culture. You know, you have your Jamaican community, you have the other ethnic groups who have their community. Community is big. If you don't have a community in Canada, man, Canada is boring. Now have nothing to do. So I'm grateful that here we form a nice little community where people can display culture, you can talk your language, you can cook your food, and you just feel Jamaican. Without that being present, Canada boring. So a lot of people just work in Canada and save them money so that they can travel to different countries. That's what I've been doing over the last couple of years. Like me, I can't stay 12 months in Canada. It's not possible. It's not possible. Yeah. So at the end of the day, Canada is still good in some instances where, you know, the crime and violence is not as bad. They have good gun laws, but overall, if you're not a strong person, if you don't have community and you don't have the support, Canada is very, very depressing. And grateful to be here, and I'm not discouraging anybody from coming. You can come and you may find it to be good. The other thing is I want to mention is that with this current government, what they're doing, they're reversing a number of the immigration programs that they had for people to get easy access in Canada. So a lot of temporary residents, a lot of people going back to their countries. Trust me, if you do the research right now, a lot of people going back to their countries because people just cannot afford to live in Canada anymore, or the government make it so difficult for persons now to obtain permanent residence in this country. But still grateful to be here, but I just wish things will change soon. That's just my reality of Canada.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Karen. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. I really appreciate. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing to the channel for more videos. So guys, on today's video we are talking about a lot of Jamaicans who are going through hell in Canada. What do we mean by that? You know, there is a lot happening that we don't really know, and some of the people not talk about it. Only a few of them would, you know, would tell you, or would speak about it, would tell you about it, so that you can avoid it. So as you have seen those few clips, those people are trying to tell you what exactly is going on in these foreign countries, in Canada especially, because uh, when you talk about going abroad, it's always about the better jobs or bettering your future. That is what it is about. Getting paid better money, because back at home maybe you can't really get that opportunity back at home. So when you go abroad, we are talking about Canada. When you go to Canada, you always expect things to be a little bit easier, or you get a job, you know, you can finance people back at home, maybe your kids, your parents, maybe your family, your wife, your husband, you know. And the sacrifice is sometimes worth it, and sometimes it is not worth the sacrifice, as I'm talking about. So when we get people who try to tell us what exactly is going on, how life is abroad, you know, they save a lot of us. And when they tell us about it, that is when we think of it like, you know, the grass is always green on the other side. That is what people think of. but it's always greener where you water it. It's not about going abroad, because it's better there and all that. You can make life better back at home by starting with your leaders, starting with the leaders that you put in those positions. Those people are the ones that can change or destroy a country. So, people who moved to Canada, there's a lot going on. Some of them, they cannot even afford to save you or to send something back home, to establish themselves back home, because they are having a lot to deal with back in Canada. They are having a lot of expenses, a lot of bills. The rent is due and it's very, very expensive. It's taking up like more than half of your salary. And most of these people that move to these foreign countries or Canada, most of them are taken advantage of by some companies. When they want to employ you, they employ you at a cheaper cost because maybe you don't have certified documents, maybe you're not there legally, and all those troubles. They take advantage of you and they give you less salary just to survive, because they know that you can never complain about it and you will survive under that. And that is why most people actually work up to 2 jobs a day. It's not easy. You have to try to make ends meet. You work 2 jobs, you live a better life. You work 1 job and relax, then it's not easy. It's not easy the way you would think. Like, there's no day you would sit and relax and wait for things to unfold or to become better when you don't work for it. When you go abroad, all you do is just sacrifice. There is no more, this, what do you call, enjoying life, like having lavish lifestyles, going on trips and all that. There are no trips because all you do is work, bills waiting, people back at home waiting. And the worst part is most of these people don't talk about it to their families back at home. If you would have explained to them whatever you're going through or the way you are trying to survive, in that you cannot even rent your own space, you have to share a room with maybe 4 other people. It's crazy. It's crazy. If you explain to your family, some of them would understand and they wouldn't be pressuring you to send them some cash and all that. Because you would go through hell just trying to impress people that don't know what it means to be in Canada. And talking about other things, we also have food, we have weather, we have lifestyle. You cannot compare Jamaica lifestyle and Canada lifestyle. 2 different things. People in Jamaica or in Africa, they are very social. When you come to Canada, it's something else. Those people, you can't just talk to your neighbor just like that. You can have a neighbor, but you never interacted for years, because that is how people live there. That is how people treat each other there. And for someone who is used to talking to people, interacting with people, that can lead to depression. Imagine, because you have no one to interact with, you have no one to talk to about anything. You can't even say hello to someone. What about getting into a relationship? It will be the hardest. Even the food you can't get all those organic foodstuffs affordably in Canada. They are super expensive. But back at home, you can even plant them, harvest, and enjoy your own organic foodstuffs. It's not about getting them at a higher price, or you can't even get them because the weather there is so different. the weather also, the weather is so cold, you know. In Canada, it's very, very cold as compared to Jamaica. People in Jamaica are just used to walking with their shirts on, you know, with their vest, even without them, because at the beach you can just walk without them, and the temperatures are so friendly. But when you go to Canada, it's cell of cold. It's very cold, and it won't be easy for someone to catch up with that kind of lifestyle. It won't be easy. That would lead to depression and, you know, and all that bad things that you didn't expect to find there. So sometimes home is the best place to be, you know. East west, home is the best place to be. If you better your homes, you elect leaders that can lead you somewhere. If you try and create opportunities, you know, try and create employment for yourselves back at home, you won't have any reason to travel abroad, or you won't have any reason to leave back your family and go for years without seeing them, just on calls and all that, you know. So guys, if you are one of those people who's going through hell abroad, just let us know in the comment section. What's your opinion? Would you stay and work harder there, or you would prefer to go back home and try life again back home? Thank you so much for watching up to this point. Kindly give a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and thank you so much for watching up to this point. See you in my next one.